Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. It's time for another full body workout, and stepped on the scale at 213 this morning, so that's down 2 since the DEXA scan, but it's probably water. Carbs were a little lower and fat was a little higher this weekend, so it could be just water weight. So all of that being said, training went pretty good today. I decided to start working in some Romanian deadlifts. I did a little bit of them this weekend. Now my grip is going to be a bit of an issue there, but I figure since my lower back is fatigued, I'm trying to rebuild it, and it's going to be the last lift I do. It doesn't matter if my grip becomes a limiting factor because I'm just getting workload and a stretch reflex and everything for my hamstrings, posterior chain, spinal erectors, all that. So I'm not worried about it at this point. If I have to do limit sets later, if I have to strap up or something, I will. But for now, it's just adding some extra grip training on top of it because I just did it double overhand. And yeah, I failed on the 5th rep because it rolled out of my grip. But it was pain-free, so that's the important point too, because we're rebuilding all this lower back, and I need to start rebuilding my posterior chain. That's really a big deal right now because I feel like some of the leg mass that I lost in these DEXA scans has to do with posterior chain. I don't think my quads have gotten any smaller. I think it's hamstring, things like that. So I do need to be doing some posterior chain work, and I feel like these 5 lifts will give me the balance I need as far as fatigue management, getting enough limit sets and volume, training, strength, everything else while I continue this cut, because I fully intend to replicate the last DEXA scans results, right? I want to lose another 15 pounds with no net muscle loss. And I think if I push it hard enough, I might even be able to gain a small amount of muscle. So that's what I'm going to work towards, actively work towards. Today, though, I had to stop at 1 rep on the 3rd set of front squats. I just felt my lower back really kind of fatigue, a little bit almost crampiness in there, and I don't want to push it. I feel like I got 2 good sets. My quads got really good work on this. My core got really good work on these first couple of sets. And I'm not going to push that limit with my lower back. I'm going to let it dictate to me what my training limits are, right? That's what I'm going to do. So we're going to do this injury-free, and we're going to build it up. I'm going to give it enough training stress for it to keep adapting, get stronger, regain strength. But we're going to pay attention to it. You know, I'm going to let my lower back tell me what it can and can't handle. And we're just going to rebuild strength from there, you know. And the goal is to get to those front squats at 315 for sets of 5. And then try to get towards a 405 single. So we'll see what we can do with that. But yeah, I stopped at the 1 rep because I'm going to play it smart. All right, we're going to play it smart here. And it was fine because I didn't have that problem on the first 2 sets, so that's good. I got through those. Felt a really, really deep burn in my quads. Definitely felt my core and everything working. But that one, I'm just like, yeah, the lower back just felt really fatigued. So I decided, okay, we're going to baby it a little bit. And that's fine. Got a couple of good work sets in. Totally fine with that. Floor press, we got a 5th rep on the final set. You know, I got under there. I felt good. I felt strong. I'm like, let me see if I can squeeze out a 5th instead of the 4s I've been doing with this weight. So happy with that. Like, the only thing I was unhappy with was maybe my last set of the press today. But honestly, it wasn't that bad because I did a weight bump, right? And I got the first 2 because it's like last time we ended up getting a rep PR. So I decided to micro load it today, right? But keeping in mind, my workload was a little higher on 2 lifts before it. So that can also impact my pressing strength a little bit. But the main thing is that at least I know I hit limit sets on this stuff. But the floor press, you know, it felt good. It felt a little heavy on the 4th rep on each one. But when I got to that final set, that 4th rep didn't feel quite as heavy as it did on the first 2 sets. So when I got to it, I'm like, oh, let me push out a 5th rep. I've got it. And I did. And we'll see how it looks. It felt a little slow. It felt a little grindy. It felt like a 5 rep max. Like it was a legit 5 rep max for me. I know I could not have done a 6th rep. So that's good. We know we're getting quality reps in here. So we know that this weight is my 5 rep max, which means these sets of 4 are all within the adaptation threshold. Because, you know, again, if you get within 5 reps of failure, that's where we really want to be. And that's kind of what I'm doing with this. There's a reason I'm doing mostly 5s and 6s and things, because we're trying to be at, can we stimulate maximum adaptation, maximum muscle growth on every set that we do without any junk volume. People say, well, wouldn't you burn more calories with extra volume? No, I'll just eat less food. I'll eat more fiber. But in all honesty, my food intake is pretty high. I just feel like I don't want to beat up recovery for the sake of trying to do junk volume. At this point, the name of the game is going to be trying to recomp any way that I can while losing body fat, right? So to gain muscle anywhere, fatigue management becomes critical. Making sure that every rep of every set produces an adaptation. I don't want junk reps. I don't want junk reps. If I want to burn a little more calories, I'll walk my dog an extra time. It is going to be about quality reps. And so we want to stay pretty close to the 5 rep max on everything. And we want every set to be basically a limit set. And I want pretty much every rep I do to have a training response. So I'm kind of at what I feel like for me is kind of the sweet spot for volume. And I think we saw that. We saw that on the DEXA scan because we lost a little leg mass, but that was due to no deadlifting and the reduced squats, right? I gained muscle in my upper body. I gained a small amount of muscle in my upper body. So back and shoulders and things. So we know we're at a sweet spot. I'm going to stick it out. It's clearly working. It's working. It's not broke, don't fix it. As you guys see, I added a 5 pound. I was debating, should I add 10? I'm like, no, let me play it safe. I'm going to add 5 pounds, even though I got 7 reps on the last set on Friday. I said, let's just do 5 pounds and we'll work up from there. If we can get all of our sets of 5 and eventually get a 6th rep somewhere, we'll add weight again. But I feel this is good for now. I think this is good. This is kind of a good spot to be on the weighted pull-up. And I mean, eventually, you know what I like to do? I want to be able to where I can do 90 pounds for a set of 5. That would be perfect. You know, that would be ideal, but I'm going to need to keep being at a lighter body weight. That's not going to happen until I'm under 200 pounds. But I think when I get down under 200, if I can gain enough strength in my back and biceps and everything, I think a 5 rep set with 2 plates from a dead hang like this, I think it might be doable, you know? I'm going to push for it. I'm going to push for it. We're going to try. I'm going to give it a real effort. I think that's a worthy goal. And that's the way I'm looking at it right now. Right now, it's not about single. It's about 5 rep maxes. You know, that's what we're going to push because we really need that extra training volume. We need those quality reps, meaning, again, like I've discussed before, 5 rep sets kind of put us in that sweet spot for volume versus tension and actually getting maximum growth from every set without letting the weight get too light. Problem we run into is you will be limited by volume. It is harder to recover from a bunch of really heavy 5s, right? There's something to be said for that. But we get a good balance of strength and everything to go with it. We just have to watch the total volume. And that's okay. You know, we pay attention to these things. And I'm not going to be doing ultra high volume while trying to lose body fat and weight anyways. We're going to give it just enough to stimulate adaptation. And again, I think that's what we want to work towards, 3x5 on 5 lifts. So I want to get up to doing 5 sets with the Romanians. Again, that's going to be contingent on grip and everything else. But that's just going to be kind of a finisher. And I think it will give me enough adaptation that we'll start kicking in some muscle memory in my posterior chain from it. It'll work on strengthening all that area further, the area that I pulled, and hopefully that'll carry over to everything. And that's going to be pretty decent for lower body development for now. Front squats and Romanian deadlifts done 3 times a week. Should be good to go. The press, like I said, I did a weight bump today. You know, I got the first 2 sets. I feel like on the final set, I don't know if it was fatigue that made me miss the 5th or because I slipped out of my groove. I think on the 3rd rep, we did slip out of the groove just a little bit. I did slip out of that groove because this first set was clean, you know, happy with that. A little slow on the final rep, but we're getting up towards a 5 rep max at this point, you know. We're getting close to a 5 rep max. It's probably my 6 rep max. It's probably my 6 rep max at this point. But when we got to that 3rd set, I had stopped at 4. I couldn't lock the 5th. You know, it's everything I had. But again, we're there at limit sets. And keeping in mind, this is the 2nd press I do of the day, so we're getting a pretty good training effect. And again, between these 3 lifts, my whole upper body's getting pretty well hammered. And the beauty of it, the other 2 lifts are a good accessory movement. They'll build into this press. They'll make this press stronger. That closed grip floor press and the weighted pull-up, I think, carry over well to this. And I really, really want to get strong at my press. This is an important lift to me. But this set, yeah, let's see how it looks. I think the 3rd rep, I fell out of my groove. 2nd one looked clean. See, the 3rd one, see, it felt a little wonky to me. Notice I lost my balance almost. 4th one was tough. Then that 5th one, I went to drive and I just couldn't drive it through. Couldn't lock it. It just gave out. It's fine. And then we did some Romanian deadlifts. And as you guys will see, it does roll out of my hand. It rolls out of my hand. So we're going to work on that. I just need to maybe chalk up better, grip it tighter. Keep in mind, though, some people say, well, I don't have that problem. Well, you're not using a good bar. You're probably using a bent bar that doesn't have good bearings and doesn't roll. This is a quality bar. It can be a problem. But, we'll start with the one set and build from there. So I hope it has been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.